While today was steeped in tradition, one thing stayed the same. The new president of the United States took the oath of office. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight at 7:30. I'm Meghan Schiller. Tonight, President Biden and the new first family made their way into the new home for the next 4 years, the White House. Joining me now live is Allegheny County Executive Rich Fitzgerald. Thank you for joining us tonight, Mr. Fitzgerald.
Glad to be with you, Meghan. It was a very, very special and emotional day for America.
Only a small socially distanced group got to attend the ceremony because of COVID, but you had the opportunity to be there. Can you describe the feeling of standing today in the shadow of the Capitol?
Well, I've been to a couple of inaugurations throughout my life. One as a private citizen for Bill Clinton, one as a county executive for Barack Obama, and then today. I can tell you that today's experience was just like none other. The emotion you could feel based on what we've gone through, not just the last 4 years, this year with COVID, the election that was very difficult, and then the post-election antics, whatever you want to say, and then the insurrection of a couple of weeks ago where our Capitol was under attack and was taken over literally for a couple of hours before democracy was restored. So there was such emotional feeling that it was important for democracy to prevail, and it did today. And to see Kamala Harris, the first woman, the first African-American, the first Asian American to take that oath of office, just it sent chills down your spine.
What was the most memorable part for you today?
I would say that was very memorable. And then when President Biden put his hand on that Bible, which it signified the official transfer of power that the people of America spoke. And regardless of the lawsuits and all the other things that went on, that we were restored to the democracy that we've had over 2 decades. And just to be standing there in the shadow of the Capitol with members of Congress, both sides, Democrats and Republicans, as you mentioned, socially distant, everybody's wearing a mask, everyone's following protocol, but the celebration of democracy that goes back to the days of George Washington, it was not lost upon me, and it was moving.
We're getting some clips to see some of the crowd size there. In light of COVID protocols, what was noticeably different this year in comparison to ones you've been to before?
Well, first of all, again, it was not really open to the public at all the way it has been in the past. You would have seen, I mean, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people lining the lawn and all the way back sometimes to the Washington Monument. That was not the case today. It had congressional people were the only ones allowed to be there, and they were allowed to bring one guest. That was it. You had to get tested. You had to have a COVID test 24 hours ahead of time. You go through, I can't even, the security that you had to go through stage after stage after stage was also very difficult. I will tell you, though, that the camaraderie among the congressional folks, as I stood there watching, really for a couple of hours, you had to get there early before the ceremony began. So there was a lot of time for congressional folks to go back and forth and have informal discussions. And that was very enlightening to see, and very optimistic to see Democrats and Republicans talking to each other, comparing notes. They're not always going to agree, but I saw a real sense of camaraderie today on the steps to the Capitol.
In his speech, President Biden calling for unity, calling for that camaraderie, saying that there's nothing we can't do as a United States of America. Do you remember a moment in his speech that really resonated with you and the Pittsburgh spirit?
He did. He talked about unity a lot. He also talked about, I am going to be a president for every bit as much for those who voted against me as for those who voted for me. And if you know Joe Biden, not many of us do, because he's been around in the Senate as vice president, in the campaign. That's his heart. That's not a political speechwriter writing something that sounds good for the record books. This is who Joe Biden is. It's who he was as a senator. It's who he was as vice president, and it's who he's going to be as president.
Yeah, that was interesting. He did say that. At least give me a moment and listen to my heart and give me a chance. And if we end up disagreeing, we end up disagreeing.
And he did. He said, hey, disagreement is part of democracy, and that's understandable. We're not always going to agree. Hopefully, though, we don't have this. And he mentioned the word uncivil war. I think that was very intentional, because this, in my mind, has been the most divided that this country has been since the Civil War of the 1860s. So I think Joe Biden he's the right person to lead this country right now. His experience, his personality, his demeanor, and his willingness to reach out across the aisle, which is something he has done throughout his whole career. This isn't something new for Joe Biden. This is who he is. He cares about everybody, the least among us to the most powerful.
Mr. Fitzgerald, thank you for coming on tonight and sharing your experience with us. We appreciate it.
Good to be with you, Meghan. Thank goodness, and God bless America. Thank you.